Hi everybody, I'm just going to show a few favourite book designs. We're just going to look at some covers like we appreciate record sleeves. It's been a wonderful thing since moving to unpack boxes and whatnot and just look at the covers. Sometimes it's just nice, isn't it, to pull a record off the shelf and look at the cover. And it's a pleasure. And one of the pleasures of books is not only just looking at the cover but also the feel of a book. It has to feel good in the hand. Certain books don't. Certain typefaces, you open it, you think, oh, just not appealing to read. It depends on the size, it depends on all sorts of factors, doesn't it? But I'm going to just go through and just hold up a lot of pictures and a lot of books that I think just look great. There's quite a few penguins to start with here. I just think the design was just spot on at this period. These are great books as well. When was this one published? 1973, so it's the early 70s, this period, and this grey back. Some had grey spines, some had black. Just wonderful. Here we go. So simple. This is slightly later. There's a different penguin here. And I don't think it's as effective. It's close, but it's not as effective. I always loved this cover. Edith Sitwell, one of the great eccentrics herself. Penguin did actually, I'll just show this one first. This is a book as a teenager, had it with me a lot, read it often, as a lot of English literature buffs might do when they're young. Later, Penguin would utilise photographs a lot, and this one I think is particularly effective. I've always liked it. Tender is the Night. You can see the different design. This actually is slightly more in keeping with the Fitzgerald and the Deco period. But I think her wistful look, and not just wistful, but kind of sad, that really sums up the main character in this book very well indeed. It's just, I think that works. Anyway, I don't want to get stuck on it. This is when they didn't have the black and they mainly had the whole picture behind the writing. I believe this is slightly, this is 1971, slightly earlier. Still maintained the grey, but striking striking cover. This is even earlier, I believe. This is 1961. You see the difference. Anyway, we're not all going to be looking at, I was just looking at penguins, but I will just show these last three because you see this one's slightly different period. So the full picture, and then earlier still, 1950. These are the sorts you'd pick up in the vending machines. When Penguins started, they actually started with vending machines on stations and stuff, so that everyone could buy really cheap books and buy the classics, etc. And also later on, modern writers became part of it as well. And they've branched out into all sorts of different things. Here we have a pelican. All the different subjects, they all had different colours depending upon the subject. There's dark blue, there's oranges. yellow and red. It's a crime book, noir. Anyway, you see later on they kind of ruined the look, I think. They made the books bigger, and although they're still, you know, tactile, etc., and I don't mind this design. I think it's all right. I still love that old, simple, more stark look. But these are still okay. I've shown this before, but just a really good sleeve record, a really good cover. All right, let's just branch out slightly. I think this is the very first paperback edition of Elric in the UK on Arrow. It's some old H.P. Lovecraft. I always thought this was a really striking cover. And this particular, you know, Lion, a Witch and Wardrobe, there are 7 books in the series. This particular period is such a classic piece of design to me. Pauline Baines, wonderful illustrator, beautifully designed cover. Later they ruined them with different artists and different layout, etc. And they just lost some of that beautiful magical quality which really suited the books well. Her illustrations, I think she did Tolkien as well. I may be wrong on that. I always like these two. These are Scott Fitzgerald, these are by Picador. This is his lost, right? Well, I say lost, but a lot of unpublished stuff. A lot of stuff that was only published in magazines until these publications. Wonderful books because they give a blurb about when he wrote them, which magazine bought them, how much for, etc., and how he was feeling at the time, all the stuff that was going on in his life before each story, and what the publishers and the magazines for them. Sometimes they reject them, so this is rubbish. And he's working like a donkey. And it's slightly later, so a really nice. Yeah, anyway, I always like this fantastic little book. Absolutely fantastic. I just love the feel of it. I love the size of it. It's not big. Fits nicely into the coat pocket. Great stuff. Let's show a few sci-fi books. The Amazing Mr. Lutterworth. The price there. It's quite a striking one. Frank Herbert. I don't tend to read a lot of science fiction, but when I do, it tends to be short stories. And some of these are really good. I think the shorter ones are better. I can't really get into the novels. I've never really tried. It doesn't really appeal. Here's a great cover on that. Look. I think it says, cover photograph, Georgy I. Petrisov. Caricature of Alexander Rodchenko, 1933 to 1934. So that's a really slow development. These are 2 great covers. Again, they're black, and I think there's something about it. Ingmar Bergman, Persona and Shame. The film trilogy. Modern books can also have very nice design. I think a lot of modern books are really quite nice cover-wise. I think they use different kind of paper now. Some of it's quite matte, and but it's becoming a bit blasé now. I think this one is a very good cover. The Noise of Time, kind of like about Shostakovich. A couple of, I just like these. I bought these both together in a charity shop. Nick of the River and the River Police. Obviously, this is about the chief of the River Police at the time, his life, etc., and life on the river, and all of the different crime and stuff that was going on. And they all have photos and stuff on the River Thames, of course. To the finish, I just liked this little book. Smith of Wootton Major, Tolkien. Again, lovely illustrations. I think it's Pauline Bates. Yeah, this is Pauline Bates. Her drawings are so fine. And Lord of the Rings, the film's just lost again. Just completely lost the slightly more, the earlier feel of what Tolkien was probably going for, the more medieval look. Anyway, this lovely little book here, I've shown it on Instagram once, I can't remember, I may have done it here. 1927, and sometimes a book is not about the picture, it's about the size, the feel. I used to like the little Everyman books for publications. They were sort of small and never had wraparounds, but just look at this. Nice piece of rice paper. Fantastic, just a few pages, 50 pages maybe, not even that. Oh, 74. Lovely little thing. Anyway, I've gone on too long. I'll probably show some more, maybe some hardbacks and different interiors and things. Anyway, that's it for now. See you later.